Ooh, testing 1, 2. Everything's good. Uh, Nothing is projecting. Okay, yeah, everything is projecting now, so that's great. So, um, welcome back to the show. I just got done recording my weekly review, looking at notes and such. I realized that in pressure, when I'm in pressure, I can't remember such words on top of my head because what is it? Uh, Besides squatting, it's also just making sure I'm able to say out everything all at once and stuff. But great news is that at least was able to get through it, pronounce everything, try to remember on how I'm supposed to say it and how I remember to say it and what goes which sentences and stuff like that. Especially with what words I actually do struggle with and what words I don't. So, at least there's that. No worries. Besides getting used to squatting and also performing under pressure, it'll take time. But hopefully, I get to uh, take that time to actually communicate what I want to say along with what I'm trying to tell you what I've learned. Because what is it? It's still a review thing. I I view it as me on reviewing what words that I learned and what I should keep up with. And, you know, all that jazz. Which is a little bit troubling. A little bit troubling trying to remember all this, but then again, learning a language right now, it's a bit challenging. So at least I just got these notes that I could look at. But anywho, I learned a lot of words now. New unit, new words. Kept on repeating old phrases and such. So, you know, you had perdón, which is excuse me, along with pero, which is but. So an example is pero tiene $2, $1. Um, so yeah, um, I'm also learning more of my ones and twos. I haven't learned my threes yet, so we'll see how that goes. But at least I don't have to. I just understand how to remember, pronounce each word correctly, along with how to spell it, instead of just putting the Arabic numeral for it. So yeah, those. But anyhow, I might as well start with the first letter I learned and then onwards, which actually is hi. Surprisingly, I just know the greetings when introducing yourself, but not hi. Maybe it's just formal, uh, informal, and they just kept on telling me to pronounce things formal. That's the reason why I have to keep on saying Castellano instead of Espanol. But anywho, hola, which is hi.
Hi.
Alright? Hi, hola.
Hola.
Hola. Hola, hola, hola. Hola, hola, hola. Hola. So anyway, let me pronounce it. Hola. Hola. I will chunk it into two chunks. Each chunk has two letters. So the first chunk is HO for ho ho ho. And then la will be the last chunk, two letters. So la 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 la. So it will be L.A. 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 Los Angeles. Um, so that sticks in my mind. The Ho for Santa and L.A. for Los Angeles. The La La Land. Also, if you didn't get that, because I literally just pieced it together by accident, La La Land for the movie, yeah, La La is referring to Los Angeles, or LA, LA, LA. Something to look at. Especially with Hollywood used to be called Hollywood Land. When they pull up the sign and everybody had to actually start pronouncing it, they don't know which. So they just call it Hollywood Land and such. So now we just call it Hollywood. For the good old LA region of the US of A. But anyway, yeah. I put the hello, which I learned that it also is hola, so hello, hi. Not really much of an informal word. It can be used any ways which not entirely formal. But yeah, hola is it's the basic word for saying hello. Interesting enough, hello is not the first word. Now, I understand with many languages that you should learn. It's not one of the firsts. It should always be excuse me. I take it in the real life scenario, and almost everything it bothers. If you need to get someone's attention, you would actually get their attention by doing some phrase, some action. So for butting in, you had to excuse yourself or you have to butt in or something like that. So yeah, in English it would be excuse me. In Spanish it would be perdón, and in Japan, so Japanese, it will be sumimasen. Oh yeah, useful words whenever getting out and about. Oh yeah, that is interesting. Oh yeah, also something awkward is I didn't have to say konnichiwa at all, but I had to use other greetings like wakami-san. Yeah, I can't pronounce anything with my freaking tongue. Wakami-masen. Anyway, let me practice the ho and the la. So AHOLA, HOLA, HOLA. Backwards is ALOH for hola. ALOH, ALOH. I keep on thinking of hola, and yeah, I can pronounce it backwards. So backwards of hola will be HOLA. That's for hola. Hola, aloha, any such and which. So, with that said, let's go onwards to the next one, which would be much. So that would be mucho. Oh, shoot, I can't type right now. But yeah, much will be mucho, not muy. Which, yeah, I practiced that eons ago. Which, muy is very, but mucho will be much. So, very much. They can even go together in English. What about Spanish? Muy mucho. Doesn't sound right. But I think like very much. I think that would be a bit. Pardon intended. Uh, it wouldn't be much of a word in a context space because under context, people would assume that you are referring to a lot, especially with other tones you're putting at, like yelling out loud and such. But, in English, there's like phrases called very much, thank you very much, versus just muy mucho or mucho muy mucho. That doesn't roll out on the tongue. And the thing I started learning about Spanish is that some of the words run fluidly, but but that's just my impression. So, anywho, I'm going to put on the voice, the American voice, and then the Spanish voice. So much.
Much.
Now, mucho,
Mucho.
mucho, 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 mucho. Alrighty, let me chunk it. Mucho, cho, mucho, 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 mucho. I will chunk it into two chunks. Um, First chunk MU, second last chunk CHO. So I wanted to put it into three because separating each pronunciation, you can hear the ch being together than HO like ho, or even CHO together, because the ch, that instantly that's a CH. Ch. So me saying cho, there is that separation with the O and stuff. But I'm not gonna do that because it's such a nitpicky thing to put down that it would be limiting. Because when me pronouncing it, and this is me pronouncing it, the cho in mucho on the ch sound starts on transitioning to O really fast, to the point that people actually have to slow down in order to you detect the separation. But in real life environment, even people who don't speak fast, show would immediately just click where, okay, there's the ch, but there's an O sound, so people immediately look at O, regardless to be English and Spanish, because the O, with how the accent, even with the accent, sound very similar. Plus, I also do believe that would be the case in other languages, because show very sound very much sounds like some uh, East Asian languages with the Q, or what's supposed to be the romanticized version of Q in Chinese characters. So for show, Qiao, so Q and X. So yeah, I'm gonna separate into two because show, it's easy to remember that it's a CH automatically and then an O with looking at pronunciation. So yeah, mucho. And for a moo, it's very close to like moo, like the cow doing moos. But in this case, just remember it's like mu. It won't be mo. That will be usually in English. No. It's not. It's not always. It's not always in English. There's also the mu, like much. Um, but yeah. Anywho, I think I can only say that in English. There's always the mu and mu. They usually would sound the same, but you just gotta know how they spell differently. That's English. But yeah. Anywho, let's just practice with it. So mucho, 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 to cho. So cho, cho, cho. CHO, MUCHO, MU, Mu, MUCHO, backwards O, H, C, U, M. Oh yeah, mucho. MUCHO. So, anywho, that is much. So, mucho pesos, muchos dólares. So, uh, lot of pesos, a lot of dollars. Because under the context, it will be under uh, a lot. So, yeah, that will be much. Now, onwards to the third one, which is how many. So, this is a phrase. So, it's cuantos. And I misspelled it. Hop W. Hop W. Yeah, now I see. I see that I instinctively like to press P. Maybe it's the little pinky trying to do some keyboard exercises. Well, I could finally practice more of my typing because I went to break, so at least I don't have to worry about school and I have more time to focus in on other work instead of schoolwork. So, yay. Alrighty, so how many? ¿Cuántos? So similar to mucho is that I wouldn't say mucho referring to you and I. It will be more like I have to say it for one time and one time only, referring to a thing. So I don't have to mix and match like entiendo versus entiende, because understanding can go both ways. You can ask yourself to a person or to a group of people. So along with speaking, so hablo, hable. But for cuantos, I would use it for myself and another person. So cuantos quiero? No, cuantos quiere versus cuantos quiero. Yeah, quiero is another word, so I'm going ahead of myself, but yeah, quiero means want. So I want a lot. I want this much, such as such. If I don't want to be specific. But anywho, cuantos. Cuantos dólares, cuantos pesos. Referring to a person. Or actually asking a question to me, but not using I. So, yeah. Now, anywho, cuantos. Let's chunk it. Ooh, I
How many?
forgot to play this at first.
¿Cuántos?
Cuantos. I am so engaged with me placing these words, their meaning, how to pronounce this, instead of automatically just pronouncing it for you or all. Y'all. Y'all? It doesn't sound right compared to y'all. Now, with cuantos? Okay. I'm gonna chunk it by pronouncing. So cuantos, cuantos, cuantos. Okay, it's a safe bet I'm chunking it into two chunks. First chunk is 4. Last chunk, 3. 43. Yeah, why not? So, first chunk is CUAN, A with an accent, because the Guan is very close together on CU, A, yeah, Gua, Guan. It can go, it definitely does go together. It can even be memorized together. It's a bit challenging because UA if you have to remember that in the middle it's a UA instead of just a U or an A, yeah, people have a hard time if they never saw how to write this word and assume that it's just one word and such. I do that. It's challenging, but that's when it comes to spelling. But anywho, N could be separated, but I won't because it perfectly caps my pronunciation of Guan. So Guan. So you get the N sound. You can separate it, but it doesn't make sense to separate the N if it's you have to catch the N when pronouncing Guan, and then stop, and then say and stop for tos. So yeah. First letters, one chunk, CUAN. Second is TOS because dos, they go together. Dos, it's same principle. S caps off the pronunciation, the full pronunciation of dos. So you can separate it, really don't. If you're just want to pronounce it on go off the pronunciation, everyday speech. People talk fast. People really don't talk very slowly. If they do, not that slowly. So, anywho, cuantos. CUANTOS. Yeah, this is going to be challenging because I got to remember the UA. Not the A with an accent. I can remember that regardless. It's just more with accents. I just gotta remember how to track them, and I could implement that. A versus A in accent, they have different pronunciation and so forth. But I haven't practiced much about that. But then again, this audio is verbal only, and help you with pronunciations. So not much in the front of the grammar, reading and writing it. So yeah. I'll do that in another time. But cuantos. CUANTOS. So let me practice. So cuantos is CUANTOS. CUANTOS. CUANOS. It's not NOS, it's TOS. So CUANTOS, CUANTOS, CUATOS. Yeah, that's gonna be challenging. I won't be here too long, so cuantos. Backwards for cuantos is SOTNAUC. For Quan, backwards is NAUC. Again, NAUC. Again, NAUC. So cuantos, it's CUANTOS. CUANTOS. And so forth. Okay. At least I got that in mind at least. So cuantos, CUANTOS. Dos TOS, cuantos CUAN, CUAN, A with an accent. Now I got that. Next up will be dos. I learned about un or uno for one, the Spanish word for one. So $1, $1, un peso, or $1, such. What is it? Uno. Yeah. Uno by itself, saying one by itself is just uno, but saying with other sentences, you or me, it will be un. So yeah. So next one is dos. So two. Oh yeah, sure, forgot. Dos.
2,
Two. Dos.
dos,
Alright. Dos. Dos. Now let me chunk it. So dos. 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 Alright. If you're so good in chunking, you can chunk it into one DOS. If you want to go with the pronunciation, it is slow enough that you could pick up the D and the OS separate. So dos, dos, dos. Me going very slow, like dos. See the separation? Not the OS much, but with D and OS, yes, but no. Nah, regular speech, regular speech speed, dos. It's really just one word. But anywho, let's go with the two chunks. So dos would be DOS. Dos would be DOS. The first chunk will be D, and the second chunk OS. So yeah, OS. I keep on thinking of the iPhone's operating system for Apple. So OS or iOS. So that helps me. I don't know about you. I mean, all intents and purposes, I could even think of DOS as DOS, the operating system. But nah, let's go with OS, iOS, or just a backwards so. This is like OS. But anywho, first chunk D, second chunk OS, so DOS. Now it's two. So DOS, 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 backwards is SOD, SOD, that is SOD, but DOS is DOS and DOS. Alrighty. So yeah, instead of just $1, it will be $2. So $2. So tengo $2. Tienen $2. ¿Cuántos dólares tiene? So I say that to a person, and then the person would say, tengo $2. I have $2. Now, the final one would be quiero, which is want. Want. I have a bit trouble with cuánto and quiero since it's very similar. Plus, I have to use them both in the same phrase, even though I just learned them. So yeah. Most importantly, there are phrases that I'm just not used to, because quiero or quiere does imply the difference between me saying quiero versus a person would be quiere, so tiene, similar to tiene, hable, entiende, but very close to cuantos, so they're very similar, yet they have different rules with each other. So quiere. So this is quiere by itself. Want.
want,
Quiere.
querer,
Quiere. Quiere. Okay, so I spelled that right, at least. Quiero, quiere. But yeah, by itself, it's actually ER than ER, so ere. But in this case, it will be quiero or quiere. So, yo quiere. Quiere. Okay, wait.
querer,
Quiere. Yo quiere. Yeah, they're two words. Referring to with a person asking them or something like that, it won't be an R in the end. You don't have to pronounce that R compared to here, like with just quiere. 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 Okay, let me go up the mic. Quiere. Quiere.
querer,
Quiere. All right. So, let's just chunk it then. So, ge, 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 gere, gero, gere. Alrighty. So this also includes to, he or she, gere. I will chunk all three, so gere, gere, and gero into two chunks. Those chunks would be first one QUE, and the second one will be RER or REO, RE and such. Because for getter, the QUE, UE being together, you just gotta remember that they tend to make this pronunciation. That the U and the E don't make together, especially the U. Just remember that the U has different properties and how to pick the differences and such. But yeah, quere. Oh man, I'm actually going overboard. Okay, anyway, quere, QUERER. So to do QUERER, 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 QUERER. Backwards is RER. EUQ. That's the difficultness about this, but you QUERER, ghetto, it's what we RO or just RE or he, she. But yeah. E E EQ. Oh no, I've been pronouncing it wrong. My mistake. It's QUERER. QUERER. Yeah, even running backwards is troubling. So what is it? RER EUQ. So QUERER, QUEREO, QUERE, Gary, Gero, Gere. That's the. Yep, I'm gonna practice this word and try to pronounce it well in sentences and remember how to use it in sentences like pero cuántos quiere, which means but how much do you want. So yeah. Oh boy. Well, that's it for all the Spanish for today. It's the weekend and I'm still gonna be learning Spanish, but hey, making progress. Anyhow, see ya.